Ginger Ninja! Ginger Ninja! Woo! Yeah! Yeah! Okay, new YouTube video. It's gonna be super exciting. Today I'm gonna talk about how I'm like always working in the fitting room. At work, I'm basically trained everywhere. Like, I know how to work everywhere, right? And I'm like full-time in the fitting room. And it's like, I love working in the fitting room, but it gets really boring after a while. Like, I wouldn't mind if I had like shifts like kind of like everywhere, you know what I mean? And at first I was like, well, why are they always putting me in the fitting room? And instinctively I was thinking like, oh, they think I'm really efficient and I get stuff done and, you know, I'm really good at what I do. But then I like really like dug into it, and I think it's because when you work in the fitting room, you work by yourself generally. And I think it's because, like, I'm too bitchy to work with other people. They're just, like, I've been, like, looking at, like, all the people that they put in the fitting room. And, like, it's all, like, people that, like, generally work better by themselves. And, like, just, like, it's always, like a younger woman that, like, is very, like, opinionated and stuff like that every single time. That's the type of girl. It's always a girl in the fitting room that has like their own like I don't know how to explain it. They just say what they're feeling, right? So I'm thinking it's because like I'm always getting put in the fitting room because like I'm too bitchy to work with like a team of like, oh my god. So basically I am convinced. Where am I going with this? I don't even know where I'm going with this. So, yeah, I think that I'm always in the fitting room because I'm super bitchy. And here I am, about to make a YouTube video about things I hate whilst working in the fitting room. Okay. Okay. I have to go off my list because I get all nervous on cam. Okay. I'm just like, I'm gonna try to make this video like less than like 20 minutes. Like every time it's like 20 minutes. Just try to tone it down. I'm gonna go off my list and like be very brief and just like quickly explain it all. Okay. So when you come in the fitting room, like basically you like bring your clothes, and the rule is I actually have to take the clothing out of your hands and go 1, 2, and I have to pull it out and kind of shake it to make sure that you haven't hidden anything in there. So 1, 2, 3, and then I give you a number, and then you go in, do your thing, come out, and then when you go, here's all the clothes I don't want, I have to go 1, 2, 3, and you have 2, that makes 5, give me the number 5, and you can go now. Well, like, bitch, I don't have time for that shit, like, half the time, like, plus, you're making the, like, customer feel uncomfortable. You're making them think that, like, oh, I think that you're stealing, so I'm gonna make sure I'm counting everything. Like, that's stupid. I don't like that. But anyway, so that's, like, the general, like, the rule of what you do. And so you come in, and there's a stand, and here's my numbers, and I go, hello, blah, blah, blah. And then there's, right there's, like, a handicap change room that's, like, right out front. And, like, it's only for, like, people, like, in wheelchairs, or if you have crutches, and I don't want to make you walk all the way into the back. Or it's, like, for people with, like, strollers, and they have a baby, and they can't actually fit into the back. So, you know, I always keep the door closed. That was so unladylike. Holy... Okay. So I just keep the door closed, because constantly you have, like, people that are just like, oh, why can't I just use that one? And I'm like, because it's for handicapped people or people with strollers. Like, and they're just like, and I'm like, dude, you can't walk all the way into the back and change like everyone else? Like, really? Like, you're so insane. Like, you can't walk into the back. Like, come on. And you're giving me shit. So I always, like, keep the door closed. But when you keep the door closed, like, people think it's a fucking washroom, and they're, like, pulling the door, they're, like, turning the knob, they're like, I need to go to the washroom, and I'm like, well, honestly, no matter how many times you turn that knob, it's not gonna unlock it, so I don't even know what you're doing right now. No, that's not a washroom. The washrooms are, like, over there, like, goodbye, on the other side of the store, see you later, and they're always like, no, that's a washroom, and I'm like, no, I work here, that's a change room. Do you want me to open it up and show you that it's a change room? Like, do you want me to make you look like a fucking idiot in front of everyone? Like, really? Like, you're gonna tell me that that's a washroom? Like, no, bro. No. Like, not happening. Like, it makes me so mad. Like, people think I'm lying to them. Like, you think I don't want you to go pee right now? Like, really? No. It's a change room, and no, you can't go into it because you have 2 legs and you can walk into the back like a normal person. Like, really? Starting to get angry! Yeah! Woo, woo, woo. Okay, next thing on the list. Okay. So there's, like, a certain point where, like, so the handicap bathroom, or the handicap change room, there's a certain point, like, if I see, like, a mom with, like, 3 kids or something like that, and they're all, like, really young, and they're running around, it's like, of course I'm gonna let them use that room, you know, and there's a certain point where it starts to get weird, and, like, I always notice, like, it's always, like, a mom with, like, a 16-year-old boy, and she's like, can we just use that one? I want to go in with him and make sure that, like, you know, everything fits. I'm like, really? Like, he can't just go into the men's change room right over there and then come out and show you? Like, that, I don't know, it like, hits a point where it's like, that's kind of weird. I don't know how I feel about that. And then it's like, no, you can't. I just like, hey, blah, blah, blah. Oh, can we just go in the change room? And I'm just like, nope. Here's your number, right over there. You can stand over there and wait. Like, no, bro. Like, it's so frustrating because, like, people, like, I have authority. I work here. You are, like, under my ladder. You look up to me. You listen to what I say, and I'm right. You're not right. Like, you're not. Customer is not always right. Okay, I'm getting really angry. Okay, I'm just gonna go from the top of the list to the bottom because I'm trying to, like, kind of stay on topic and it's just, like, taking way too long. So I have dress shirts. Okay, so, I find this, like, it happens more here over at the coast. We have, like, dress shirts, like, really, really nice, like, classy dress shirts that are, like, folded and, like, put into, like, plastic bags. And they have, like, numbers. They have 3 numbers on them. It's, like, 16 and a half, like, 34, 32, or something like that. For one, I was, like, never really taught, like, what those numbers are. So you constantly have, like, men come in and be like, dude, like, I don't know what this size is. And I'm like, okay, you're gonna make me feel uncomfortable. Now I have to, like, touch you and, like, size you up and, like, do that whole business. But not even that. It's when they, like, say, like, they bring, like, 5 of them. They're like, I don't know what size I am. I'm super busy. And they're just like, I want to try these on. Well, we have to, like, take them out of the bag. We have to take the sensor tag off. We have to take, there's about, like, 12 pins in the dress shirt to, like, keep it all, like, pretty and nice, and, like, plastic and cardboard and paper. So it takes, like, honestly, it probably takes, like, 45 seconds, maybe a minute to do each dress shirt, and it's just really irritating when you're, like, they're like, oh, I want to try this on. You're like, okay, and you're, like, throwing everything around, and then there's a big lineup of people coming out of the change room and coming into the change room, and I just, like, take my time. I just slowly do it, and I'm just like, and I huff and puff. I'm just like, God. Oh. And then I make them feel bad, and they're like, oh, I'm so sorry that you had to go through all that trouble. I'm like, yeah, I had to go through all that trouble. You had to try 5 of these on? Like, no. Take one in. If it doesn't fit, then go up or down. Like, you don't need all 5 of them. And he's like, oh, I just want to see if this pink looks good on my skin. And I just, like, lift the bag up to his face. I'm like, yeah, it looks fine, dude. Like, just, like, no. Like, so frustrating. Like, I hate the dress shirts. Like, there'll be a lineup of 8 people, and, like, some guy will be, like, right in the middle of the line, and he'll be like, I want to try this dress shirt on. I'm just like, okay, well, I have to take it all apart for you. And he's like, okay. Oh, I have 2 more, too. And I'm just like, okay. Like, so frustrating. I hate it. Oh, I hate the dress shirts. No dress shirts. Don't do that to fitting room people. Like, they'll hate you. Okay, so when, like, people come out of the change room and they're just like, oh, these are the clothes I want. Well, they take, like, the limit is, like, 10. So, like, usually, like, for girls, like, they always take 10 in. They always take 10 in. And then they'll just be like awkwardly under the arm, like, through the leg, like, just, like, dump it on my table and then just be like, okay, bye. And I'm like, I usually, like, stand in front of, like, the table. Like, they'll, like, walk and they'll try to, like, lean over and, like, put it on my table. And I'm like, I stand right in front of them. I'm like, I can take it. Like, don't dump it on my table. Like, that table is in the front to look clean and nice. That is not for a big dumping of clothes. Like, no. I have arms. I'm getting paid to work. Give it to me. So I'm just like, they're like, oh, none of them worked out, like, blah, blah, blah. And I just, like, they're like, go to dump it. And I'm like, no, I'll take it. I'm like, actually, I can take that. And, like, super attitude, like, no, I can take that. Like, right here. And, like, some of them still, like, lean over me and, like, dump it on the table. I'm like, I understand you're trying to be, like, a nice person. You're just, like, trying to, like, whatever. You're trying to, like, oh, I'm gonna put it on the table so you don't have to carry it. Like, oh, I'm being so nice. Like, no. Listen to me. I work here. I told you I can take it. Like, give it to me. Like, seriously. That's, like, probably one of my most frustrating, like, fitting room things ever. It's, like, so simple, but it's, like, it's so rude. Like, if I was in a fitting room, like, for one, like, I always hang my shit back up, but even if I didn't, I wouldn't just go, like, dumping it, like, wherever I please. Like, I don't know. Frustrating. So frustrating. Makes me so mad. Okay. The other day, I had, like, a lady come in. Where's my beer? I had a lady come in, and she has, like, a big, like, a lot of clothes. Like, there was probably, like, 40 pieces of clothing. And she's just like, oh, can I have my bar so I can organize it? I'm like, we don't have bars here to give to you so you can organize your clothing. Like, organize it while you're shopping. Like, oh, here, oh, put the shirts, like, she's just like, oh, can I have my bar so I can organize it? I'm like, no. We don't have bars here. And she's like, oh, well, the one downtown, they give you bars so you can, like, organize it and, like, get it all ready. And I'm like, we don't have that here. And they're like, well, that's stupid. I'm like, does it look like I make the rules? Like, no. And even if I could, like, we're a discount store. Like, no. We, like, no, we don't have time for that. And she's just like, oh, so, like, when I'm, like, people give my clothes back, I have to, like, put it on a bar, and I have to organize it, and it's just, like, between, like, men and women have 2 different bars, but then there's, like, ladies and juniors and lingerie and activewear and dresses and all of that. But within those sections, I have to, like, put them in flows. So I have to put them in, like, short sleeve, long sleeve, sweater, jackets, like, blouse, like, all, like, different, like, skirts, shorts, like, dress pants, casual pants, jeans. Like, I have to sort it all out. So then the bitch, like, walks over, puts it on my rack, and she's like, oh, I'll just do it here. I'm like, no, you won't. Like, take a cart, go over there, and, like, get out of my space, bro. Like, no. Like, I'm busy back here. Does it look like there's room for you to be dicking around back here? Like, no. Like, you're gonna end up trying all of them on anyways. Why can't you just take 10 and go come back and take your other 10. Like, does it have to be a certain 10? Like, it's like so frustrating. Like, if I had a certain 10 pieces of clothing that I needed to try on together, I would make sure that I like had it all ready so I don't inconvenience the person working or like piss them off. So she was so mad that we didn't have these like row bars for her to like, I'm like, yeah, I know, like downtown, I think like we have a store like on Robson Street or something like that, like super classy, like that's cool. Like, everybody there is super classy shopping, so of course they're gonna have, like, more stuff that, like, that's super classy. But no, I'm at Metrotown, like, no. We don't have that shit here. We're a fucking discount store. Like, no. Sorry, bro. Like, go over there. I'm like, hey, there's carts over there. You can do your thing over there. And she's like, oh, well, can you hold it? And I'll pick out which ones. And I just pick it up. I throw it on a cart. And I'm like, oh, you can just do it over there. I have other customers here. Like, I'm sorry. No. Like, and they get so mad. Like they're so... And it's always, like, the older, like, mid-late... Or, like... mid-40s, like she can still hold it, like she still has enough strength to hold it, she can do it herself, but she's like super prissy, like no, bro, no. Okay. Oh my god, I'm burping off. Don't put this way. Okay, yeah. So sometimes, like, when people come into the fitting room, they have, like, stuff either that they've already tried on, or maybe it's, like, a lady coming in and she's buying something for her son or her boyfriend or whatever, and she's like, can you hold on to these while I, like, try the stuff on? I'm like, of course, yeah, I'll put it right here. And she's like, don't put it back. No, what are you doing? Why are you putting it back? I'm like, I'm not putting it back. I'm just putting it right here out of the way off my table, which is supposed to be clean. I get marked on this. Like, it's supposed to be clean. I'm putting it over here. I'm not putting it away. She's like, yeah, I'm going to buy that just so you know. Don't put that away. And I'm like, I know. Like, you're paying my wage. Do you think I'm gonna go put your clothing away when that's like a sale that's gonna help pay for like put money into my paycheck? Like, no. Of course I want you to buy that piece of clothing. I'm not gonna put your shit away. Like, calm down. This is my job. I'm above you. If I tell you I'm gonna hold on to it, I'm gonna hold on to it. Like, trust me. Like, seriously, they get so mad, and I hang it off this side of my table, and they're like, no, I want to buy that. I'm like, I know. So frustrating. Like, gets me so mad. Like, I get, like, fucking fired right up. Okay. Whew. Okay. I have cart. Oh, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Okay, so, like, here's my table. So, like, I stand, okay, so table, and then I'm standing right here. The numbers are right here, and so I stand on the right of my table to, like, take their clothing and count it. And it's, like, ladies to the left. Yeah, to their left, and men to their right, and then there's the handicap change room, right? Okay, so they push the buggy, like, right up, right beside my little desk, or whatever, in front of everyone. Like, there's, like, 6 people coming out of the change room, and, like, 10 people in line, and they park their car right in the front, and I'm just like, and they're slowly taking their clothing out. It's, like, some lady that, like, so fragile, she can barely, like, I'm like, oh, actually, I'll get you to put your cart out in the front out of the way because there's a whole bunch of people here, and I don't want it to be a hazard. Like, get that shit out of my way. Like, carts are parked out in the front. Can't you tell there's 20 other carts in the front? Park your cart over there and do your business over there, not right in front. Or, and then they go like, oh, I don't understand. And I'm like, take the cart. I'm like, okay. I, like, push their cart over to the side. I'm like, just right over there. I will see you in a minute once you pick up all your clothing and stand in line like everybody else. Like, no. Like, don't put your shit in my way. Like, no. No. Oh, God, we're almost at 20 minutes. Okay. Handicap, done that. Mom's done that. Yeah, so, along with that, because they can't go into the, like, handicap change room, like, the boy has to go into the men's change room, and I'm like, I'm sorry, you'll just have to wait over there, out of my way. They try to stand in the way, and I'm like, you can stand right over here. I lead them. I, like, right over here, out of my way. That's what I say, out of my way, and to make sure that there's room for people to come through here, right? And then they get so mad that they can't go into the back, and I'm like, I'm sorry, but no, he's gonna have to come out and show you what he's wearing. And she's just like, oh, and I'm like, how hard is it for him to walk out and show you what he's wearing? Like, it's not my fault your child is disobedient and doesn't, like, come out and show you what he's wearing. Like, it's not my fault. And the same thing happens with, like, couples that come in, and the girlfriend wants to go in with the guy to, like, try on his pants or whatever, and she, like, gets so mad at me when I tell her, no, it's men's and women's change room, you can't go back there. They get so mad. I'm like, how many change rooms have you been able to go into with your boyfriend to try shit on? Like, none. Like, it's always, like, and if it's not, like Urban Planet, it's super open, right? Like, it's not, like, separate. So, I don't know. I just, like, get so frustrated because they get so mad at me, and I'm like, well, if it didn't matter if you were in the back, it wouldn't say men's and women's. Like, and they, I don't know. It's like, or she's like, oh, I'm trying on lingerie and I want him to see it. I'm like, I'm really sorry, but no. I'm like, you probably have a cell phone. Everyone has cell phones nowadays. Take a picture, send it to him. Simple. Like, I'm sorry, or you can come out wearing the lingerie. I don't care. He's not allowed back there. Like, I'm sorry. No. No, bro. No. Okay. Couples asking for... Okay, yeah, so, okay, we'll do this one first. Can you watch my kid? Like, they'll be like, oh, can you watch my kid? And I'll just quickly go change. I'm like, no. No, I can't. I tell you to bring your personal belongings in with you because I don't have time to watch your shit, whether it is your purse or your shopping bags or your child. Like, can you not see all of the people coming in and out of here right now? I don't have time to watch a 4-year-old kid that's running around screaming. Like, no, take your kid with you. Like, yes, he's a boy. He can go into the change rooms because you're a mom and I'm not letting you in the handicap change rooms. Go in, take him with you. Like, if not, leave him outside. I don't care. I can't watch him. I'm not being responsible for that. And, like, same with, like, shopping bags. Like, we're not supposed to let people go into change rooms with, like, backpacks and stuff. Well, they're allowed to, but we're supposed to, like, offer, like, hey, do you want me to hold on to that for you? Well, for one, like, it's way too busy. If I offered that to everyone, like, I'd have too much stuff, like, in my area, and, like, I can't do that, right? Plus, it's like, that's their stuff. Like, why aren't they allowed to bring that in with them? If I'm counting their clothing anyways, they should be allowed to bring it with them. Like, so, like, I don't know. I never offer that stuff. And I don't want to be responsible for their stuff. Like, I'm, like, buzzing around trying to put stuff away and, like, dealing with all these people. Like, I don't know if somebody's gonna come by and take your backpack. Like, I don't know that because I'm not watching it. Like, you know what I mean? So I always say, like, they're like, can you hold my backpack? And I'm like, dude, take your backpack with you because, like, I don't want to be responsible for it. I'm like, dude, I'm, like, running all around. Like, I'm not going to be watching it. And that's, like, if you want to leave it, that's fine. But I just want you to know that I'm not keeping my eye on it. You know what I mean? Because, like, I don't know, that'd be a horrible situation if, like, their backpack got stolen. I would be responsible for that. Like, fuck that noise. No. No. Okay. Asking for a different size. So, like, a lady will come out, like, in a, like, dress, and she's like, oh, this is too big. Can you go grab me a size 6? And I'm like, no, I can't. I'm sorry that I can't do that. You're gonna have to change, or you can go right now. Like, you can just quickly go and go grab a different size. I can't do that. And she's like, why? And I'm like, because I'm the only person here, and if you can't tell, there's 10 people, like, fucking lined up everywhere. Like, no, I can't. I'm sorry. Listen to me. Like, when I tell you I can't do something, I can't do it. There's no negotiation. Don't give me attitude. I'm given a list of do's and don'ts, and I'm following them. Like, no. Like, ooh, so frustrating. But yeah, okay. I'm gonna leave this shit off on a lighter note because it's been 24 minutes and I need to end it. Okay, so, the other day, I think it was actually yesterday, and I'm, like, in the fitting room, right? Okay, and so this, like, this guy comes up, And, like, whatever, I'm, like, counting his clothes, and he's just like, oh, I don't need to try these on, they're skirts, right? And I'm just like, oh, are you sure you don't want to try those on? And he's just like, they're ladies, and I'm like, I was just kidding, bro. And he's like, oh, fuck. He's just like, I see how it is. I'm like, arr. And so, like, he goes and tries it on. And, like, when he comes out, he's just like, okay, here you go. And, like, he goes to walk away with the number still. And, like, I have to take that back, right? And I'm like, hey, dude, I need your number. And he's just like, he, like, goes like this. I swear to God, he was just like, like, puffs his chest out, like, macho, guys. And then he comes back, he's just like, well, with that attitude, you can call me anytime, like, gives me his business card, like, puts it on my table, and, like, walks away, and I'm like, oh my God, you fucking cheeseball, like, that's ridiculous, like, I don't know, if I was the dude in the fitting room, like, that'd totally be, like, my pickup line. I'd be like, actually, I'm gonna have to get your number. Like, can you give me your number? Give me your number. Give me your number. Okay, 26 minutes. I will give you a super high five if you actually made it through that whole thing. Awesome. Until next time. Yay!